Good morning to the Power Circle. It's Tuesday.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here with you and with you. This is going to be an amazing day, a spring day, a lot of things planned for the day, another opportunity to get it right. You got another opportunity to show up. Awesome.
That's right. We got a special guest. Back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Like. Like. You know the drill. Good morning. Take some time, take a moment for comment, like, and subscribe if you're watching us on the YouTube. If you're not, go to YouTube, ESPTV7, and like us there, subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Today is very, very special. We got kind of a two-part, if you will.
We got a special guest.
We got a special guest, prolific empowerment author, Mr. Rhudel James, and we
have a great topic.
And our topic today is...
Don't skip steps. Don't even try to skip steps.
Don't skip steps. What's the matter with you? When you try to bake a cake, if you skip steps, you know what happens? You get a mess. Don't skip steps. When you are trying to go from point A to point B, and there is already a prepared plan for you to follow, don't skip steps.
There are so many little steps along the way to your success that you just cannot skip.
And you might not understand even why they're there.
Wax on, wax off.
That was my favorite right there. If he knew what he was doing, he may not have been able to learn the lesson. He may not have embraced each one of the steps. Mm-hmm. He may not have mastered them the way that he was supposed to because he was anticipating something different. Wax on, wax off was very specific. It was very specific. Wax on, wax off was about building and developing a certain sequence of muscle motion, muscle memory that he was gaining that ended up being the difference between winning and losing.
Exactly.
What does a clue look like?
Make the phone call. Make that first phone call.
They're going to say no.
Yes, okay, but it doesn't matter.
They're going to say no.
Make that first phone call.
They're going to say no. They might say no the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. Guess what you get every time you make the next phone call?
You get closer to your yes.
You get closer to your yes. You build up some resilience and
skill set. How do you get the girl to go to the dance with you?
Ask if you don't.
Good morning, Miss Vivian. Good morning, Beverly, Dr. Beverly. Good morning, Sister Edette.
I actually believe that some of that is part of why in some things boys are better than girls, or boys have gained some skills that girls are kind of behind in.
I think it gave boys a head start, learning to deal with rejection as just a part of what you do. Man, that's what we do. You get turned down. That's just the thing. And it doesn't hurt as much. Hurt as much, you know.
And it gets you to the yes. You ever see that beautiful supermodel with the nerdy troll?
Oh yeah, how'd that happen? Okay.
He asked the question, and Casanova over there was like, "Nah, I'm not going to get turned down in front of my boys."
Right, and he ended up missing out. Now I've had it work both sides of that. Okay, one thing I would do is go to the club back when I was in the Army days. I would ask the prettiest girls first. Okay, because
to get them out of the way.
yeah, I would ask them to dance first, and they're gonna play around, and they're gonna have to be cute first. They just got to hit. They got to be cute first. They can't dance right away.
Good morning, Dr.
So I get my numbers to work for me.
Uh-huh.
But there was this one time, we was at this club called La Traps, and I'll never forget this. And I was having a good night. I was having a good time. My boys was with me. We was hanging together. We having a good time. And this woman come in. She was light skinned. She was dressed in all yellow, heels, dazzling. Just freaking wrecked the place, wrecked the club. She was. No, I didn't see her, but she was beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. And so there was no way I was going to approach her. But then I saw her go on the dance floor with this fat, sloppy guy. And she went out there and danced with him. I was like, oh my God, she'll dance with that dude. She's definitely going to dance with me. So as soon as that song was over, pew, I flew over there. And I ended up dancing with her. Because he was my foreman. He was the Roger Bannister. He had demonstrated that you could break the 4-minute mile, that you could dance with that girl.
Yes. Good morning, Sammy. Thank you for joining this morning. So we're talking about skipping steps, and actually what we're talking about is the importance of not skipping steps.
What's up, Sammy? And Sammy's a great one to talk about this. We're talking about don't skip steps. Now, part of his work is helping people to regain their optimal health. Okay, to regain their optimal health. And there's a Sammy, co-sign with me if you can on this. But there's a lot of times people who want to regain their body or lose their belly. They might come at you with this plan to lose 40 pounds in 4 weeks. They want to skip the steps. Yeah. They don't want to eat right, but they want to lose the weight. Well, no, I don't mind eating right. Well, I'm saying not you. I'm not saying you.
No. I was just chiming in because there are seasons in this journey because I have been challenged with my weight all of my life. Even when I realized, looking back at some of those photos, I wasn't as challenged as I was feeling.
Right? In your head, though.
In my head, I was challenged, right? So now I am challenged. Now I am challenged with my weight. And some of those steps are like, why do I have to do these steps? But I'm learning more and more to embrace these steps. And I think that it's making a difference. Ms. Vivian says, how do you know when you're skipping steps? Well, the best way to know that you're skipping steps is that when you've been told to do this, this, and this, and you do this and this.
And then you find yourself having to go back. Is another way to know you're skipping steps.
Grand rising.
Having to do stuff over.
That's right. And Sammy, Sammy, absolutely. He says transformation is not an OT, a quick fix. Ms. Vivian goes on to say, true, people offer the quick, easy steps that are never permanent. Yeah, those quick, easy steps can get you some easy, instant results, but
it doesn't last.
They usually peter out. Yeah.
It doesn't last. It doesn't. Excuse me. I'm having my Belvita with my coffee. Zig Ziglar used to say it this way. Friends, it took you 45 years to get in that shape. Okay? Don't try to lose it in a week or a month. Your body doesn't work like that. And your business doesn't work like that. And your relationships that way.
Your relationships don't work like that. Your writing your book doesn't work like that. Your marketing of your book doesn't work like that. Your creating of your platform doesn't work like that. People have come to us all the time and they go, oh, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do.
Oh, gosh.
And you know how many times we had to get on here and just be talking to each other because nobody else was there. And it was a challenge.
Difficulties in the beginning, which is really, really strange and challenging. When I think back on it, I still shudder about how many technical difficulties we had back then. Miss McNeill, your skin is glowing. Really? Thank you very much. And it's a good day for my skin to glow, Sister Saranda. I was looking at my schedule today, and I've asked for this. I am so freaking blessed. But today, not only do Lisa and I have a great guest who will be with us for about 12 minutes on the show here today. So that's great. We get to share this time with you. But at 10:30 today, I am being interviewed for a speakers series virtually on Zoom. So it's a good day for my skin to be good. And then at 11, I have a consult phone call with a potential client. And then 12 o'clock, of course, I have one of my regular clients. Let me finish, baby. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm being interviewed for another speaker series that I'm on today. So, and then at 7 o'clock tonight, I host the Male Empowerment Networks meeting. So today, Sister Taranda, is a very good day to talk about my skin glowing. Thank you.
Good morning, Miss Vivian. Thank you for joining us this morning. Absolutely. These are my tissues.
Whatever. I just still ask for one. You could have just handed it to me.
I know.
You didn't have to give me that whose they belong
Right.
to or nothing. I asked my wife to hand me a tissue because I had spilled a droplet of coffee on the table and I didn't want to let it go. Hand me one of those tissues, baby. These are my tissues.
These are my tissues. They're my tissues.
Are there any men on here can feel what I'm saying right now? Let's go back to it. Don't skip steps.
That's right. Patience is a virtue.
What about those people who only want to do the steps of the process
that they like?
Well, I don't really like making calls, so I'm gonna skip that part.
Yeah,
Brother Sammy.
It says, mind, body, and spirit must be in sync. You will no longer desire the things that are not good for you, or you will use them in moderation. Whew. Congratulations in advance in the speaking engagements and new clients. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Taranda, for Brian. Dr. Deborah says, Brian, you're rolling today. Yeah, baby.
It's a blessing.
Yes,
it's really a blessing, Dr. Deborah. And what it is a testament to all the little things that were done before today.
Absolutely. All of the little things.
Raising my hand. Hey, I'd be interested in being a speaker on that. Just letting somebody know. How many times did we say half of it is just showing up?
It's showing up. There have been many times that we were not scheduled to speak, but we showed up in support of and ready. Support of and ready. Understand that there's two parts to that.
Lisa and I.
In support of and ready.
We were not booked to speak, at least twice I can think of, but on an event that we would have wanted to speak. So what did we do? We showed up early and raised our hand to be helpful to the event. Anything we could do, like we were booked to speak once in Corpus Christi, Texas. We spoke 3 times, okay? Because we showed up in support of and ready.
Good morning, Katora. Thank you for joining.
What's that school? The Bible school in Concord. I can't remember it. But there were several times where we just showed up. Abbey?
Yeah.
Belmont Abbey? Belmont Abbey College. We showed up to not
in Concord, but
okay, but not just to speak. We showed up to be in support of the event and being willing to be in support of the event, however we could do it, and we get blessed because of that.
So this is a good point to address here. Ms. Vivian says, I am still sometimes impatient with my group. It seems that some have developed their businesses so quickly and so easily. Be careful. Be careful. You don't know what level they are at in their business. You don't know whether or not they've been trying at this thing for 10 years and finally clicked the switch that made it happen.
You don't know what kind of indebtedness they have because of that.
You don't know. You don't know. Understand, it is so important not to measure your chapter against someone else's book.
That's the way to be unhappy.
All the time. All the time. Gotta understand that. I mean, we can use what's her name right now? She just won an Emmy and a Grammy. The comedian. She ready.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. Overnight success.
Girl,
please. This child been going at it for almost 20 years.
20 years. And she had some homeless days.
That's right.
Living out of her car.
Yeah.
Being embarrassed in front of her peers.
Being on the couch at her peers' house. That's right, Tiffany. So understand, you don't know where someone is. If you hadn't done a history, if you hadn't read her Black Unicorn book, if you haven't looked into where she's got an Emmy and a Grammy now. That's 20 years worth of, and people say, oh, she just popped up on the scene and she got an Emmy and a Grammy. No, honey. She's been pushing that broom for a minute.
And she's tried and changed her game up, practiced this, showed up big, tried it again, failed, and failed again.
Yes. But every failure.
No.
And every needs to lead you to another comeback.
I'm proud of her for her
Absolutely.
stick-to-itiveness, her
Absolutely. Even
resiliency.
you know what was there? What was even interesting was watching her come back um, after her New Year's
Yes, that
performance.
was embarrassing to her.
That was embarrassing, and that she failed very publicly at
Mhm.
after so much success. So think about it. Many of us get to fail privately, right? Many of us get to fail privately, and we still be sitting back licking our wounds like, oh, I don't want to do it again because I messed up. She failed on living stage
Spectacularly. New
spectacularly,
Year's Eve,
New Year's
MTV,
Eve,
and she bombed, and she
everything.
came across as drunk or high, and she
She
was
was.
trying to do a stand-up routine live to billions, and her fans excoriated her,
That's
and
right.
other peers excoriated her.
And she could have faded off into the darkness and you would have never heard from her again. But she made a comeback.
Dr. Deborah Dunstan, exactly. Dr. Deborah Dunstan invited us to speak at our healing conference, a 3-day event. And Lisa and I were scheduled to speak on Saturday. We were scheduled to speak on Saturday. We showed up Thursday night, okay, because the event was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because we wanted to fully embrace it. We let Dr. Deborah, she read, you two definitely show up ready to be of service. I will never forget how you stepped in at the healing conference. So appreciated. We wanted Dr. Deborah to know that if any speaker couldn't make it, either one of us could fill the slot at a moment's
Or
notice.
if she needed someone to
Or,
assist in
or if you need
the
someone
process.
to man a table, we was willing to man anybody's table. We could even introduce anybody. I ended up introducing a lady there, and Lisa and I think we participated and spoke Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we did, and it was a great experience for us too. It was a great experience. You did a good job with that, Dr. Deborah. By the way, she had a band. She had everybody.
And Dr. Deborah, I started a text to you yesterday, and then my melatonin kicked in, so I backspaced over it because I don't text melatoninized. So I do owe you a phone call today. I want to talk to you, so I will give you a call. Um, okay. Columbia was calling me.
Okay, Jesus.
They don't care.
But don't skip steps.
Don't skip steps.
I want to confess something here to you, by the way. When someone
Confession
becomes
is good for the soul.
Yes, when someone becomes my. By the way, if you're ever my client, our stuff is private, but I'm going to talk about it with my wife. Okay, everyone, I'm talking about it with my wife. Message, but anyway, out of all of it, I'm gonna talk it over with my wife because I want her to. At least I need her to have a record if I'm screwing up. Okay, I need somebody to know, Brian, you should have maybe not did that with that person. I need to know that I'm not always right. So I'm gonna bounce her everything off her. I'm gonna give her a chance to see what I did and said and what my client said and did. Now, over the years, we have learned that there's one part of my training that a lot of my clients find challenging. Okay, so I try to forewarn them. Okay, this part of it is the most difficult part of it, but it still has to be done. We're talking today about don't skip steps. Okay, this is the most difficult part of it, but it has to be done in order for us to get the results that we want. We want. So then I explain to them the most difficult part, and then I explain to them the whole process of what has to happen. And then I have learned to tell people how others mess it up. Here's how people mess it up. Number one way they mess it up is they rush the process. Okay. That's number one way they rush it. Mess it up. They rush the process, try to do everything that's supposed to take 4 weeks to do. They try to do it in a week. Okay. That's number one way. The second way they mess it up is they judge the process and judge the clients. Mm-hmm. This doesn't work, or my list is bad. Okay. The people are bad, or this process is bad. That's the other way they mess it up. They start judging it before they give it a chance to work. Even though I go through these great pains to explain this to people, I had one last week. The very next day after she learned how to do this, the very next day she gives me this sad story. This is so challenging and difficult, and I don't think it's worth it. Oh God.
So I utilize that process with my clients in one of the areas of what we build together for their marketing plan. Mm-hmm. And I have actually implemented a very different process of even providing them what's going to happen for that very reason.
Okay, I want to hear it, please. If you're willing to share it.
I'll give you a portion of it. The first part of it is where they're accumulating their particular prospects based on defining what it is that they want to connect with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you typically give them the next step. You tell them what's going to happen with them.
Right.
I don't. They get 2 weeks. I need you to get these people. I need you to get this information. I need you to have it together. I need you to put it into a spreadsheet. I need you to accumulate it. You need this number. And when that's done, I will tell you what's next.
That's pretty smooth, actually. It's pretty smooth.
Because I've learned.
One side, clients like, okay, what's the rest?
Yeah.
But you won't tell them.
No. No. It's on a need-to-know basis.
Don't need to know.
You don't need to know. And we talked about it this morning. There are some things that make more sense when we have all the pieces, and there are other things that are more beneficial when we don't have all the pieces, right?
So we have a very impressive group on here with us today. Miss Vivian, Yvette, Dr. Deborah, Sister Shanrika, good morning to you. Dr. Beverly, you guys are really, really impressive people. You know, to get a group like you guys to show up regularly is a testament, man. I'm excited about that. Also, just to share a little bit more of our lives, this past weekend we moved into a new home that we like, you know. But even though we've only been in the house officially since Friday, I think, or Saturday. Friday. That means we've been in here all day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today's Tuesday. 3 full days. And our stuff is still not all unpacked and put away yet. Can you believe that? We've been here 3 whole days and our stuff is still not completely unpacked and all put away, and we know where everything is. I'm still looking for my razor. I don't even know where my razor are. Lisa said this morning, it would make so much sense if you had put it in with your blue stuff. I mean, your blue box. I would have made sense when I did it. But it's been 3 whole days. We should not get patient and not having our whole home completely organized in 3 days. It's only been 3 days, baby. It seems longer.
It's only been 3 days, and I do not expect. I actually think that I was being zealous, thinking that it would be organized by the 25th. That was the date that I gave myself. That's actually the date that the housekeeper is supposed to come.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I don't think everything will be put away by then.
You kidding me? That's 4 more days.
I know, but I still have work to do in between.
Yes, that's right.
My workstation is pretty set up.
It is nice.
I have not connected my printers yet, but when I need them, I certainly will. And I have another bookcase to assemble, and we had a DIY project that.
Oh my God! Why did you bring that up?
I'm very, very angry with myself. That's why. I am.
A do-it-yourself project
that I should have done myself.
First of all, I never understood what she was going for. In this
but he insisted on taking lead.
I did not.
Give me the tape. Give me the tape measure. Honey, you're measuring from the wrong space. I got this. I want it to fit in here and use all the space. You don't even understand how it configures to go together.
I still don't.
I got it. And so exactly.
I never did all of that. First off, I never did all of that. I got it. I'm gonna give me the tape measure. I was here in our new home, in our spare bedroom. The walk-in closet is really big. It's a huge walk-in closet, and there's a window in there too. And Lisa's like, man, you know what, Brian? This little space here with the window will be a great personal office space. And it made sense to me. I was like, you're right. I would like to. And she goes,
and then he took it from there.
No, that's not true. And then she said, let me build you a tabletop that go here. I'm like, what do you mean? A tabletop. So I'm figuring she wants to get like a piece of board or something or wood or something and sit it down on top of some brackets.
Not brackets.
That would make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
You put the L-shaped brackets on the wall, like those kind of brackets here, right?
No.
And one part goes into the wall, and then you have the shelf basically. So you put 3 or 4 of them around, and you put your tabletop on it. That makes sense to me in that area. That's what I thought she was going for.
Yeah, but it wasn't your thought that matters. It was my vision.
Okay. JB, what's up, man?
James Brown.
So,
James Brown.
and not everyone says you're doing it wrong, Miss Yvette. She said some people say, people keep on saying, Yvette, no, it's wrong. Okay. You know what Henry Huckham says. But anyway, so Lisa had this idea of doing it a different way. So we went to,
because Lisa's built a few things before.
So we went to Lowe's yesterday to cut some wood
with his measurements.
That you was right there,
and I was telling you that they were wrong. And I was telling you that they were wrong. Right there, every moment.
Are you gonna let me tell it? Okay. Go ahead. So I measured, and then when we get to the place, I was like, okay, let's take an inch off of the measurements to give us some leeway. And she goes, no, we're not taking an inch off. It needs to be in there snug. All right. I still don't really understand the plan. We walked right past what I think would make it work. But anyway, so they cut the wood. We put the wood in the truck, and we bring it on home. And while I was downstairs, Lisa goes to work on it, and it's a 1/4 inch too big. That's what she tells me. So if we had cut it an inch shorter on each side,
it would have been too small.
It would have been too small.
Yes. I need you to understand. That's why in building and carpentry, they always say, measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once.
So
I'm just saying.
The project didn't get completed. Okay. So now, here I come to save the day. I'm going to have to take over whatever it is that's left of this project and figure out a way to either cut another inch or make the inches that we have work. That's what has to happen, right, baby?
Anyway, our guest is on the way. Our guest is on the way.
Y'all don't like our guest. He's been a guest on our show before.
Absolutely.
But we have another reason to bring him back, too. So I hope he gets in here real soon because it's already 9:25.
I know. He reached out to me at like 30 this morning because they're an hour different.
I talked to him this past weekend, and he was excited about being on the show today.
Absolutely. And I talked to him this morning.
Let me tell you why I talked to him while we're waiting on him. He lives in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, which is the largest of the Virgin Islands, the most expensive of the Virgin Islands. But Lisa and I, we have really, really started as a couple enjoying this show on Hulu called Caribbean Life. It's HGTV, Caribbean Life. And we watch an episode or two whenever we get a chance to, in the morning or afternoon, whenever we get a moment where we can have a meal, we like watching it. Katura says, do it yourself is Lisa's thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Katura. Thank you very much.
So, but one of the islands that I am personally most feeling connected to, feeling enthralled by, and imagining us living in is St. Croix.
In Christiansted.
Which is St. Croix is broken up into two halves, basically Christiansted and Fairfax or Fairville or Fair something. Okay. So anyway, Fair something on one side, which is the west side, and Christiansted, which is the other side. And they're very distinct in personality. So we've been watching this. So I'm liking Christiansted because I want to be close enough to city action and close enough to resorts, but I don't, because I believe we're going to do, Lisa and I are romanticizing. Have we mentioned it on the show before?
About
the next phase of our life living in the Caribbean.
Yeah, you've mentioned it a couple of times.
Okay, because we're in our early 50s right now, and we're thinking the next phase of our life.
I'm about to be 53 and a half in June. Yay.
And a half is not a thing. Once you get past 10.
No.
Once you get past 10.
Listen.
No more and a half.
My birthday is in January, and I do not like the cold. So my half birthday is in June.
You don't have birthdays.
June 12th is my half birthday.
Your birthday is not cold if you're inside, okay?
I don't like my birthday.
Be inside, okay?
Whatever.
I'm about a half, so.
I have a half birthday coming up on June 12th, and I am accepting gifts.
You 9?
I am 53 and a half. On June the 12th, I will be 53 and a half.
That's it.
And I'll be having a party of some sort. Probably a cookout or something.
Not saying, I'm not doing that.
Yes.
Anyway,
who
that person is?
Is that Rhudel's number?
Oh my goodness, it could be. Let me call her back.
Not sure what happened.
It could be.
The world is getting smaller and smaller.
Morning.
So we shall see.
Oh, how you doing? Yes.
So building was my thing, but again, if you don't have the right measurements, you can't have the right outcome. That's unfortunate. And I am looking forward to. I'm still working on getting Rhudel in to the green room, and I guess in the meantime, what we can do is do our morning serenades and songs and give you lots and lots of love. So first up is Miss Vivian. Vivian. Vivian Reid is here. Vivian Reid is here, and now the show can go on. On.
Katura Green likes our backdrop. And
Thank
this
you.
backdrop actually is the actual wall. That's the actual paint on the wall.
Yes.
No tapestry, no green screen.
No,
I can wear anything in front of it.
This is my room. It came like that. I love it. The walls are gray with the touch of gold flecks all over them. Like we had at Redemption.
Walls have a lot of that gold flexion.
Yes.
In it. But this particular wall, accent wall here, is like that.
Mm-hmm. And I have a chandelier.
And there's a chandelier in the
chandelier. Room. You have to say it like that. Chandelier.
Chandelier.
That's right.
The phone call happened to be my 6 o'clock interview tonight.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. McNeill.
Dr. Yes. Beverly is on, babe.
Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. How you doing? Dr. Beverly. Mm-hmm. Did we get her thoughts on the importance of not skipping steps?
Not skipping steps. Why is that important? Now, we this morning we have a dual program. We have the subject, don't skip steps, and we have our special guest that we are waiting for, Mr. Rhudel James. He is actually going to be tuning in from Christiansted in the Virgin Islands.
Katura Green is another one. The importance of not skipping steps.
I think that's why I never mastered ballroom dancing.
How are you going to learn how to do advanced moves
if you don't learn the basic ones?
Until you learn how to do a 4 count.
And that's me. I have to fall on my sword. That's the problem. When the music starts, I want to be full out Fred Astaire. Ginger Rogers.
How you gonna learn how to send the lady out and bring the lady home without learning how to do a half step?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Katura?
Yeah, that was my problem. No, that was honestly my problem. Is that those daggone steps? Like I don't want steps to dance. That's why I never learned the wobble. That's why I never learned any of those things, because when the music comes on, I want to be dancing. Now, I did have to learn steps when I was a little girl. I took ballet and tap. So we did have to do first position, second position, third position, but they got me while I was still young and tender enough to be willing to follow what they said. Shuffle, shuffle, step, shuffle, shuffle, tap, heel, toe, all of those things that we had to learn to be able to get up to your first performance, second performance, third performance. Those were the steps that it took.
Don't skip steps.
Don't skip steps.
It's a messy process when you do, and it doesn't work as well when you do.
Nope.
Don't skip steps. I was in the military, and I was an airborne soldier. Now, when you first learn, airborne means you jump out of a perfectly good aircraft with a parachute.
For no apparent reason.
Well, you're trying to get behind enemy lines and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's the reason.
So that's the reason. Okay.
You jump out of the plane. Okay.
But you got to practice before you go behind the enemy line.
Speaking of which, before you jump out of your plane the first time, you got 4 weeks of training.
Okay.
4 whole weeks of training about how to jump out of a plane. Why don't they just do that on the first day?
Yeah.
Get the parachute on
and jump.
Right? What's the big deal?
What if you're not prepared?
What if you're not prepared? What if you don't know how to land? Most of that first 3-4 weeks is how to land. When your butt makes impact, what happens? Okay. Most of it is how to land.
How to land. So how to fall,
How to,
just like we were talking about with how to swim, how to blow the bubbles.
yes.
And the other one that aggravated that we didn't even talk about this morning. Sorry, finish the air one, then we'll talk about the swim one.
Okay. But anyway, you got to go through 4 weeks of training before you jump out of your plane the first time. And then on the first day that you jump 5 times. But every time you jump after that, every single time you jump after that, they make you take 6 hours of training on how to jump out of a plane before they let you jump any other time. 6 more hours of stuff that you already know how to do. But you have to do those same 6 hours every time. Why? Because they don't want you cutting corners. They don't want to let anyone get so casual to think they know how to do this so well that they're going to cut corners and then potentially hurt themselves or the aircraft or something. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, I know. We actually, we got a couple of comments here. Sammy says half counts, Lisa. I don't remember what we were talking about then. Gotta let a gal dream, Brian from Sharika. Yes. Couture says you're not alone about not wanting to learn those steps. Yeah, I know I'm not alone. I wish I had more patience with that. I'm the same way with ballroom dancing, with line dancing, and with salsa dancing. Although my hips kind of salsa without the teaching.
Your hips lie?
My hips lie.
My hips don't lie.
They lie.
They lie. They do lie.
Yeah, my hips lie like crazy. But what I was gonna say about
Dr. Deborah, this is a classic one. I got in so much trouble while learning algebra. I knew the answer, but they wanted the steps.
Yes, they wanted the steps. Now, they want to know that you know how you got there.
That's one of those examples I don't really feel comfortable with because I didn't like algebra either because of the steps. Okay, I'm with you on that.
So when we were learning to swim, or not learning to swim, but having our kids learn to swim, one of the first things that they taught them was how to blow bubbles. They taught them how to blow bubbles, and I'm like, the kids were like, well, we want to swim, we want to swim. Then they taught them to kick. Well, we want to swim, we want to swim. Then they taught them to float. We want to swim, we want to swim. But all of those things were necessary for swimming because, what if you go underwater? What if you start going underwater? What if you get separated from an edge and you need to sustain yourself? That doggy paddle is only going to hold you up for so long before you tire out. But if you learn to float, you can stay out until somebody rescues you.
Yes.
Just by floating. So all of these steps are necessary elements of you actually learning how to swim.
The military, since I'm on that kick right now, the BDU, the battle dress uniform, that camouflage uniform, is actually a flotation device. Okay, yes. You can jump into the water with your full boots on, your full clothes on, and if you just button everything up and grab the top, it'll expand like a life preserver. And then you got to stay in the pool. That's what we all had to learn how to do. And just hold that there. And then just stay in the pool. And I've seen big guys being sustained just by their clothes because they learned how to do it. That seemed like nonsense training. They ran us into a swimming pool. It's like, everybody jump in with all our clothes on and everything.
There may be a time when you need that.
Without being forewarned or nothing. They marched us up to a pool. Get in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's keep going with the songs, honey.
Okay.
Miss Yvette.
Dear Yvette.
Dear Yvette. Dear
Yvette.
Dear Yvette.
How you doing, Miss Yvette? Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate you showing up.
Absolutely. It's Dr. Deborah. Dr. Deborah, healing and deliverance coach.
Dr. Deborah, I'm so happy that you're here. I need your perspective a lot of these mornings. I'm looking to see how you take it.
Surrender, really understand
the kind of herbs you need to plant.
Put yourself in healing hands.
Surrender's hands.
Boom, boom. Absolutely, absolutely. We got you. Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Brother Sammy, we need to get a jam for you, Sammy, as a greeting song. You've been showing up for years, man, off and on. And so if you recommend a jam for us, something that speaks to your spirit, we'll see if we can incorporate it for you, Sammy.
Melissa's here.
Melissa Price is here.
You gotta get Miss Phyllis, honey.
Hey. Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day.
Good morning, Miss
Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Good morning, good morning, good
Melissa
morning.
made it just in time for the song.
That's right.
You missed some cool stuff, though, Melissa.
We're talking about don't skip any steps.
Don't skip steps.
Don't skip steps.
There's so many examples of don't skip. When I sold home improvement, I had a sales force. I was so keen on my game that I broke down. It was 13 steps from the lead to the actual sale. 13 steps, and included basic stuff like you drive by the customer's home before you park there, so you can see where you're going to park, so you can get there quick. Step 1. You briskly walk from your car to their door. Step 2. You get in, you spend this much time there. Step 3. Step 4. It was 13 steps that I had designed and wrote out that everyone had to do. So I started teaching my 13 steps to the sale. Okay. Now, what happened was I was doing really, really well. And because it was 13 steps, and the ownership was like bugging, Brian, how do you close at such a higher percentage? You know, what happened was I started to trust in my process. I trusted the 13 steps, and I stopped worrying at all about what the customer was going to say or do. I was just going to do my steps. That was it. I didn't care about anything ancillary. I was going to do my steps. I was going to go through closing efforts, and it made it easier for me. I just trusted my process. I hadn't thought about this in a while. I just relied on my process. And it's like, Brian, what are you doing that makes it so different? I showed them all my steps. I trained everybody my steps. I said, this is what I do, y'all. I do these steps. That's it. I don't ever skip any steps. I don't skip no steps at all. I don't cut any corners. I do each one of these steps in this particular order, and the results are speaking for themselves. So then they said, well, look, we got to let people go with you. And I said, look, it doesn't matter if the client buys or not that day. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to do my steps to the sale. And that way, so when someone comes with me, whether they see a sale or not, it still gives them value because they see what the process is supposed to look like, what good behavior is supposed to look like. Don't skip steps. Who's next in songs?
Who's next?
Katura definitely deserves a jam.
Yeah.
Did we have one for her?
Not yet.
Katura, you definitely deserves a jam. Is KT? Did we come up with one for you already, Katura? Because we at least not have a bunch of them in our head already. Okay, let's see who's next. We did Dr. Shanrika. Tell me about the Benjamins, baby. Tell them about the Benjamins, baby. Children love money, but they just don't understand it. That's the author of that great book, Shanrika L. Crawford Benjamin.
That's the Melissa song.
Oh, Melissa. Bow, 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 bow. Melissa song. That's time for us to sing our song. Melissa song. Good morning, Miss Melissa Price.
Melissa, I am going to put a stage in the center of my living room.
What'd you say?
So that I can sing karaoke. Oh. I'm putting a stage, well, not a stage. I told Brian I want one of those coffee tables that's the sturdy coffee table that you can sit on it or stand on it or whatever, the little low ones. Yeah, I want that so that I can put my mic stand up there and I can put my, what you call that thing?
What, pole?
No pole, thank you. My mic stand and my, my amp.
Vivian Reese said, I understand that it's not good to measure your progress to someone else's. This is hard to resist, this mindset. It is hard to resist, but resist it you must.
Yeah, it's like punishment.
Yeah, resist it you must.
Judging yourself against somebody else is like punishment.
You do not know. Man, they got such a nice car. Man, why don't I have a nice car like them? You don't know how much they struggle every single month to make that car payment, and you don't want that life. Oh, my gosh. You just don't know. Lisa said it earlier. You don't know what else they got going.
I know that's right. I know that's right, Melissa. Melissa says, I will come karaoke with ya.
I need to bring me some Singing juice, though. Of course. I will get my best Jennifer Hudson impression ready. Singing juice. Man, where's our guest? Do we have to reschedule him?
I think we're gonna have to, because at this point he won't have any time left in his segment.
I really, oh man, because we got like
I don't know what
12
happened.
minutes. Man, this guy was so excited about being here today. He reminded me like twice on the same phone. I know, man, you're coming. I know, we got you. He was excited about being here. I'm surprised. Unless there's, I don't know what's going on in his home or technical challenges or whatever.
Yeah, Melissa, me too. So yes. All right. So don't skip steps. Don't skip steps. Don't skip steps. Here's the other reason why you don't want to skip steps. There are elements of wisdom. Understand, I didn't say knowledge, wisdom that is gleaned. Understand, I didn't say taught. Gleaned from the process of implementing steps.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that you cannot teach that must be experienced.
Your understanding gets heightened by that experience and that time and that wisdom. Yes. Time is a factor as well.
Absolutely. If you think about the way that the ancestors taught even cooking, there were no cooking, there were no measurement tools that they used per se. Kev on stage says, Grandma said you put a tinge of salt. Now you got to learn from a tinge. You got to learn from it. You got to feel it. You get to taste it. A tinge is a very exact measurement, and you know when it's wrong, but you know when it's right.
I love Kev on stage as well. He's been funny to me lately, particularly. He's doing these things about people making food, the way they cook their food and all that stuff. He's just been hilarious to me. But he does talk about, if I go to your home and I'm watching you cook and you're using measuring cups and measuring spoon, I don't want it. I don't want it. Listen, Price, we all love those shortcuts, though. The experience and journey is everything. Knowledge is power. We have to sponge it all up, even the dirty stuff, and then just squeeze the dirt out after you soak it in. Now, let's talk about that for a second. The shortcut. I do think there is an acceptable shortcut. Okay, an acceptable shortcut is working with a coach or mentor. Mm-hmm. That's the acceptable shortcut.
But even then, you have to trust that they've made it as short as it can possibly be to have the result that they know how to provide you. And that means you can't shortcut the shortcut.
That's the other thing. People want to shortcut the shortcut. They do it in my business. Man, where is William Brown? I wish he had been here for this conversation today, because he would know, and I know he would know about that process, about why you can't skip steps. I want to sing on stage at this place. How do you get there? You got to audition. Man, there's just steps you can't skip. And there's this movie, a Spike Lee movie called He Got Game, where this basketball player Ray Allen got to be the star of the show. He Got Game. And but Spike Lee wanted Allen Iverson to be the star of the show. He asked Allen Iverson to do it, and Allen Iverson wanted to do it, but Allen Iverson never went to read for it. Mm-hmm. He decided not to go and do the audition. They wanted, the opportunity was there, but you wanted to skip a critical step in the process. You can't do it. Yeah. So that opportunity went to someone else because he didn't show his butt up. Dr. Deborah, a healing moment with Dr. Deborah. Tonight's topic is spiritual war in the soul. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Empowerment Duo page. That's going to be a dynamic conversation. That's going to be a super dynamic. So tonight at 7, if there's any men here, from 7 until 8, we can have a wonderful conversation with the men. And then at 8, and then get a chance to drink yourself some water. And then at 8:30, be ready to have a conversation, a healing moment with Dr. Deborah. Spiritual war in the soul. Here's what, look at Dr. Deborah's show. Dr. Deborah's show, she's been doing it now for maybe 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer. But these steps to this show, she must do these shows right now. She must do them because each show is a building block. Each show is a brick that she can stand on to get her to the next levels of her game. That's why she has to do these things. It's a part of the process. You can't skip these steps.
You can't skip these steps. And if you are a gentleman or have a young gentleman in your life that you would like to give them an opportunity to have some male mentorship, some discussions for men only, then you need to have them connect on tonight. They'll just go to maleempowermentnetworks.com and they will have the opportunity to join in, communicate, have the conversation, because men really do need men.
That's Planet 7. On the first and third Tuesday night of each calendar month, men and teenage men, we gather, and it's a discussion group. And I will tell you, although I chair the meeting and facilitate the meeting, although I'm the leader of that meeting, I needed as much as, if not more than anyone else there. I need my brothers. I need my male counterparts to bounce things off of, to unload, to unburden. And that's why the men come. That's why they come back again and again. Because when it's over, when the meeting is over, they all feel better for having had this time to talk it out. That's what we do. We've been doing this since August of 2013.
Absolutely.
So that's 8. We're going into 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going into 8 years. And the funny thing about the even funniest thing about that to me consistently is that the first 3 years of Male Empowerment Networks and Women Empowerment Networks, we didn't even know each other.
No, we were doing it in different cities. She was hosting Women's Empowerment Networks in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was hosting Male Empowerment Networks in Greensboro, North Carolina. Heavenly Father, thank you.
Look at God.
Put us together.
Absolutely.
What is all this noise?
That is unfortunate. That's these things. They're connecting. Every time we touch the table, they connect and reconnect. I don't know.
Dr. Deborah says, yes, I commend Lisa as my coach. She would not allow me to skip the step of doing my show. Come on now. Believe me, I try. But now I'm happy that I trusted the process of the steps. Your show does a lot of great things for you, maybe that you can't even see. Mm-hmm. It's like a seed in the ground. A seed in the ground, where so much happens. There was a lady yesterday, one of my favorite clients. I asked her, if you had a chance to tell your story to one person in a day, would you consider that a winning day? And she was like, well, if they decide to buy, yes. But if they don't buy, no. I said, well, then I broke it down for her. I says, well, that one person, the average American knows about 600 people. The average American knows about 600 people. When you drop a pebble in a pond, the ripples are going to go out, but you don't know how far the ripples are going to go. But you're going to know they're going to go somewhere. So each time you have a chance to have a positive meeting with someone or learn about someone or share your word, some ripples are going to go out. Absolutely. And that person you met may not be the client for you, but they might lead you to the client.
Right.
So, but you don't know how that works. That's why everyone deserves your very best. Absolutely. So once I explained that to that, then she goes, yes, that would be a contributor to a winning day for my business. But that made sense to her. So that's the reason why you want to have a coach in that instance.
That's right.
You didn't see that at first.
And but that's why not only having a coach, but having the right coach is important, because you and I talked about this a couple of different times where I would have had so much more success with geometry. Mm-hmm. And if I had understood the correlation between geometry and carpentry, because I love carpentry. I love building, but they never made those connections for me. So it just looked like numbers on a block.
Why do I need to know what a rhombus is?
All of those things, they didn't make sense. And they left me disconnected. There was no glue to hang all of this information on. So because of that, I let it go. And so while, yes, there are steps that you have to do just because, there's some need to understand how they're going to
attach it.
Connect. Yeah.
When they built those ramps and steps for Bishop, you got a chance to see that connection.
Yes, right? Absolutely. When for Pastor, when they were building the ramps and measuring the steps and all those things at Redemption for Pastor's chair, I
Great
got
friend.
to see how the T-square fit into the equation. I got to see how the numbers graduating made sense into creating these angles and these angles, these 90-degree, 40-degree, 65-degree angles, of why you have to have
How
so
many
many
steps
scales
go for this
displaying
angle? That made
for these
sense then.
things. It made sense, and I was so angry. I was so angry because I could have been something completely different. I could
You might
have.
not have been in the chair that you're in right now.
That's true.
Okay. Understanding life the way you understand it right now.
That's true.
You guys, I want to thank you again for joining us for these wonderful conversations that we get a chance to have.
We're gonna go ahead and reschedule Rhudel. He's got a new devices and they're giving him some challenges. So we'll reschedule him as soon as
Process for him.
possible.
You
Absolutely.
got to be bad at it before you can be good at it.
Oh yeah.
He's having a challenge with the device. He'll be better with the devices tomorrow or the next day.
That's right.
Yep.
So we're always happy to spend some time and share some knowledge and
Respect
share
your
some wisdom.
process and your steps.
Please do. And don't forget, gentlemen, 12 and up, join maleempowermentnetworks.com tonight. That's all you need to type in is maleempowermentnetworks.com. And join Brian and the men on the call to be enlightened, inspired, and encouraged together.
Amen. It's time for us to get out of here.
That's right. Because we got to make room for coffee time.
The coach job.
And he follows us right here on the Empowerment Duo Facebook page, on the Empowerment Network. And we love sharing this time with you. So we will see you tomorrow. Meanwhile, keep walking on water. And it's Tuesday, so don't forget to have sex.
Might as well.